I want you to imagine for a minute that it's 2:17 a.m. You have nowhere to go. You only own what's in your backpack. You're sleeping on a park bench with your backpack as a pillow. You have an old phone, but it's at 1% battery. And it's 2:17 a.m. You know it's going to die. And it does. And when it does, you have several questions in your mind. Who can I ask tonight? Who hasn't said no yet? Who might tolerate me for just one more evening? But then, all of a sudden, a bigger question you can't help but think comes into your mind. Does my life actually matter? And I remember being here, homeless, as a teenager, for a long time, prior to me being recognized to where I am today. Left navigating systems I couldn't understand. I felt like I was trapped. Over half of our youth who experience mental health challenges today are due to family interpersonal problems, which was not unlike me. I suffered, I survived, and I became better. But at the time, it felt like I was trapped in a prison mentally with nowhere to go. I felt like I was suffocating in my own mind. And I always knew that I had differences and difficulties. I was in my first year of university, homeless, trying to get through it and not understanding why I was having sensitivities to light, sensitivities to everything. I was struggling to be able to read social cues, struggling to be able to function. But with the community and the help of my church and local communities, once I was able to get off the streets, I decided to fulfill an assessment, and that's when I was diagnosed with level 1 autism. It made so much sense to me. It was clear, crystal clear. I felt acknowledged, because maybe for the first time, I wasn't crazy. I had a meaning behind and an understanding behind some of the struggles that I was going through. And then I asked myself, despite all of this, despite all the challenges that I have overcome, what can I actually do to make that difference? And that's when I joined Enactus Laurier. And then for those of you that don't know who and what Enactus is, they help promote social enterprises to be able to uplift the Sustainable Development Goals, to make the world a better place. I became the Director of Lived Experience Advisory. Let me say that again. What I went through in my past, I used as fuel to move forward. The experiences that once made me feel helpless became the fuel I needed to move mountains. Think about that. We often go through life today feeling like we are helpless, feeling like we have nowhere to go, feeling trapped mentally. We all have been there at 2:17 a.m. scrolling through our phones, not wanting to do anything with our life, not knowing what to do with our life. And if you are here listening to this today and you're feeling like that, remember this quote. Because to me, I was able to move mountains. I used my pain to move those mountains. But I wanted to do something more than that. If I could become who I was and help lead my team to nationals, across honors, across 5 different categories, what could I do next? It was like a high, like I was on caffeine, man. So I wanted to do more. And then that's when I found out about the International Forum We the Youth, called IFWE. I was one of 3 Canadian delegates to go to Korea. Originally, it was over 27,000 youth that took a part of this worldwide. And they were divided into 6 different regions. And there was 50 individuals in my region, North America. We flew down to New York City to write regional policy recommendations. And out of that, we elected half of us, 25 of us, to go to represent North America in Korea. And that was me. And I spoke on those stages that were there and used my personal story of what I overcome as fuel to help inspire others to make the changes that our world so desperately needs. Today's society, youth voices are marginalized. But we all have a story inside of all of us. And I took that and I co-wrote the Yunpyong Declaration, which is now set to be disseminated worldwide to international leaders. 95 pages of policy recommendations to build a sustainable future for all. And I can tell you, during the time, I never thought I would be here. It felt like I was trapped in glass. But it's the darkest moments that feel like that glass. You have to remember that you were never meant to stare at it. You were meant to break through, to be better than that. Now, when we are able to break through, it creates something called unity. And when the power of the people come together in unity, we can change the world. The biggest barrier people face is they can't break through that glass. And we lead to a fractured system like we have today. But in Korea, I saw firsthand that unity, and it made me feel so happy. And now we're working to represent the youth internationally. But I wanted to do more. I was like, I wanted to inspire other youth who've been in my situation. And so I took a part of the United Nations Association of Canada's Eagle Club program as a mentor, mentoring other youth to learn their value, to be able to build Eagle Club projects in their own cities so that they may too find the hidden potential within inside of them. I want you to remember this. When we are able to break through that glass, it gives us one feeling, which is hope. And our world needs it so much right now. We feel as if we have no hope, but you find hope in the darkest of those moments when you feel like you have had nothing left. Now I want to ask yourself this today. What barriers are stopping you from moving forward? And a lot of people might say that it's our politicians. It's not as a big problem. I mean, we hear that all the time. Some people might say education. Some people might say stress. Some people might say lack of finances, cost of living. Some people just might say, I'm just too lazy in the morning without my coffee, okay? So it can vary in range. But there's one thing I want you to understand. You have control only the thoughts you choose to think and the actions you choose to act upon. You have no control over any of what I just said. You can't control people. You can't control the weather. I mean, you can control if you can get a coffee in the day. I mean, that's just a reality of it, but you have no control over people's choices, people's thoughts, people's actions. You can only control them. But the biggest thing I want you to realize, the only barrier for moving forward in your life is you. Just like me. I'm diagnosed with autism. I was homeless for a long time. Prior to me being and representing our youth internationally, prior to me being able to being who I am today, I never thought I'd be on this stage. I never thought I was going to be here, breathing the air that I so enjoy. As soon as I realized that my own thoughts were getting in the way, I decided to use that pain and say, I'm going to choose to make that difference. If I could live on this earth and do one thing, I was going to make that difference and not go to bed until I do, every day. I want you to reflect now. Think about the moments at 2:17 a.m. Think about those moments when you're doom scrolling on TikTok, because that's literally what it sometimes feels like. You're doom scrolling on TikTok, wondering, what is the purpose of my life? All these wars happen. Cost of living is so high, I can't afford to live it. I don't know what to do. But when you think like that, let's change up the narrative. Say to yourself, I have the ability to do anything I set my mind to do. The only barrier is me. What can I do today to be able to make that difference for tomorrow? At 2:17 a.m., you'll always have those moments. We can either have it as our worst enemy or utilize the power of the 2:17 a.m. moments to change the future and change our lives. The choice on how you get up is up to you. Thank you.